Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SUAS AFC West battle here. Raiders at Chargers. This line is now down to Chargers minus 4.5, down from 6. Total sitting at 49.5, up from 47.5. So we've seen some movement in this one. Raiders Chargers, let's get it started.
Welcome to the SUAS. The SUAS. Hey, get the SUAS.
So like I said, this line's been dropping. It was up at 6 as recent as Tuesday, now down to 4.5 on most books. And we got a serious pros versus public setup here. The public's all over the Chargers, sharp money all over the Raiders. So let's start with the Chargers defense, and I have one question. What the hell? I mean, isn't Brandon Staley supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach? What's going on? To start the season, this is one of the worst defenses in the NFL, 29th in overall DVOA, 27th against the run, 27th against the pass. And if I'm being honest, I don't even know if there's a light at the end of the tunnel here for this Chargers defense, because now they're dealing with injuries all over. Joey Bosa has not practiced this week. Neither has Derwin James. Derwin James actually just got downgraded to doubtful, so he's probably not playing. Kendricks, Hillman, Kenneth Murray, questionable. Kenneth Murray did actually participate in a light practice, though, so he might play. But overall, this Chargers defense is a mess. Now, the good news for the Chargers defense would be there's a chance Brian Hoyer is starting this game at quarterback for the Raiders. You want to know the last time Brian Hoyer started and finished a game at quarterback? November 10th, 2019, as a member of the Indianapolis Colts. He's made 2 starts since then, but he got injured in both those games and didn't finish. Now, normally when there's a question mark at quarterback, this would be a game I would skip and save for the live show on Sunday morning. The reason I felt I was still able to do this one is I feel like the Raiders' offensive game plan is going to be pretty similar whether Hoyer's in the game or it's Jimmy Garoppolo. What Josh McDaniels has been doing with that offense out there so far this season is getting the ball out of Jimmy Garoppolo's hands quickly, and I think that's going to be the same game plan whether it's Brian Hoyer or it's Jimmy G. So the first thing I wanted to look at was the matchup between the Chargers pass rush and the Raiders pass protection, because I find it very hard to believe that the Raiders can win this game if it's Brian Hoyer and they're under constant pressure. The Chargers pass rush is okay. I mean, it's not at all what they expected. I mean, they have Joey Bosa on one side, Khalil Mack on the other, and they blitz a lot. Chargers have blitzed on 37.5% of their defensive snaps this year. That's the 6th most in the NFL. You would think blitzing at such a high rate with guys like Bosa and Mack on the edge that they'd be all over opposing quarterbacks. That's not really the case. They're just 18th in pressure rate, 12th in adjusted sack rate. Now, the Raiders pass protection, I know these numbers don't look amazing. 8th in adjusted sack rate, 18th in pressure rate, but you got to keep in mind who they've played to start the season. I think the Raiders pass protection is super undervalued right now. They've played the Broncos in Denver, the Bills in Buffalo, and the Steelers. That's 3 tough pass rushes. Well, Broncos is looking kind of weak, but last year was a tough pass rush. The Raiders didn't allow a single sack until week 3. Like I said earlier, McDaniels has been getting the ball out of Jimmy G's hands quick, and that's what we're going to see here whether it's Hoyer or Jimmy G. Raiders haven't had a ton of success offensively so far, but the Chargers will be by far the worst defense they've seen yet. And those quick hits that I expect to see from the Raiders passing offense might play right into the weakness of this Chargers defense. Chargers have been one of the worst defenses in the NFL against short passes, 29th in DVOA against short passes. Now, I know everyone's down on Josh Jacobs right now. I mean, he hasn't scored a single touchdown yet this year, averaging just 36 rushing yards per game, 2.4 yards per carry. But keep in mind, I'm going to bring this up again. They were on the road in Buffalo, on the road in Denver, and at home against the Steelers. It's not the easiest start to the season for a running back. Last time Josh Jacobs saw this Chargers defense, which I believe was week 12 of last year, 26 carries, 144 yards on the ground, 5.5 yards per carry. I think this is a great spot for the Raiders to finally put together a good game on the ground, and they need it more than ever if Brian Hoyer is potentially going to be at quarterback. Now let's flip it to the other side of the ball, and obviously this is where you start to see some positive points for the Chargers team. Justin Herbert and the Chargers passing attack is very obviously elite, 2nd in the NFL in yards per pass attempt, 5th in passing DVOA. And the Raiders defense against the pass is so bad that they brought Kenny Pickett back to life. After 2 weeks, Kenny Pickett was looking like one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. He finally puts together a good game on the road in Vegas, a 108.5 passer rating. I'm saying this kind of tongue-in-cheek. I mean, Kenny Pickett started off the season against the 49ers and the Browns. That might be 1-2 as far as the best defenses in the NFL this year. So there's a lot of quarterbacks that would have looked like trash if they started off their season against those two defenses. Another bad split for this Raiders defense would be Justin Herbert's numbers against zone coverage this year. Herbert's been ripping zones to shreds. He's 5th in passer rating, 5th in net yards per attempt against zone. Now, the Raiders do run a lot of man coverage as well, but 60.3% of their defensive snaps this season have been in zone coverage, which is the 12th most in the NFL. But to be honest, the real story of the Raiders defense comes down to this: the pass rush. They're not getting the sacks so far this year. They're getting to the quarterback. 6th in pressure rate, 3rd in QB hurry rate, but they're just not getting the quarterback to the ground. Now, normally, when you see pressure numbers like this and they're not getting the sacks, it's only a matter of time before they start getting them. We just saw it in the Lions game last Sunday. The Lions only had 1 sack through 2 games heading into the Atlanta game, but the pressure numbers were good and the hurry numbers were good. Week 3 against the Falcons, the Lions recorded 7 sacks. So normally, like I said, if the pressure numbers are there, the sacks will eventually come. We just haven't seen it yet. The problem is the Rangers are dealing with some serious injury problems in the pass rush department. Chandler Jones obviously out. He's on the IR, and from the looks of it, he's experimenting with bath salts. He just went on one of the wildest Twitter rampages I've ever seen. So yeah, he's out. One of the guys who's seen a lot of snaps in place of Chandler Jones, Malcolm Kuntz, he's also listed as questionable. He may not play. He did participate in a light practice, so we'll see. The guy that would probably start instead of Chandler Jones is their first-round pick, Tyree Wilson. But Malcolm Kuntz would probably see 30-plus snaps if Chandler Jones is out. Oh yeah, and by the way, Max Crosby, the best player on the Raiders defense and one of the best players on the entire roster, he might not even play. He did not practice on Thursday, but he did participate in a light practice on Friday, so we don't even know if he's going to play. He's listed as questionable. Obviously, we need to know if Max Crosby is going to play in this game before we can place an educated bet here. If Justin Herbert at home is going to have all day to throw against the Raiders secondary, Raiders are going to be in a bit of a situation. Now, to be fair, the Chargers offense is definitely banged up too. A lot of injury designations on this offense, but I think the only two who are actually going to miss the game would be center Corey Linsley and obviously running back Austin Eckler's out. See, the problem with the Chargers offense is it's so one-dimensional. They came out in week 1 and just shocked us. They ran the ball all over the Dolphins. They had like 240 yards rushing on the Dolphins. In the 2 weeks since that game without Austin Eckler on the field, they've combined for 36 carries, 91 yards rushing, 2.53 yards per carry. Now, I can understand the Titans. That Titans run defense is crazy. But how do you only have 15 carries for 30 yards on the Minnesota Vikings defense? Someone explain that to me. That's just embarrassing. Before I get to the game picks, I got an underdog pick 'em for this game as well. It's a 3-pick. I already used my free leg in the Titans-Bengals pick 'em, so I can't use it on this one. But I like Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown, rushing or receiving. Joshua Kelly higher than 52.5 rushing yards. Cameron Dicker higher than 1.5 field goals. If you don't have an underdog account, you can go to Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. When you're making your account, make sure you use the promo code BET. You'll get a $100 deposit bonus. And actually, if you sign up by October 4th, they'll give you up to a $500 deposit bonus if you use the promo code BET. So if you don't have an account and you sign up before October 4th, they will match you can deposit $500. They will give you $500 free dollars to play with. All right, so as far as what I'm betting, obviously I'm not going to place a bet yet until I hear what's up with Max Crosby and Jimmy Garoppolo. Those are just two pieces that are way too important to this team to place an educated bet, like I said. I'm definitely on the over, though. This total was at 47.5. It's now up to 49.5. Still like it, so give me the over at 49.5. As far as picking a side, if Max Crosby plays, I'm going to bet the Raiders, but I'm hoping if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play, when they officially announce that he's not going to play, that line's going to move back up to 6 or 6.5. That's what I'm hoping for. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait till the live show till I can give you a final answer on this, but I will tell you, if Max Crosby plays, I'm hoping to get the Raiders at +6 if Garoppolo doesn't play. Now, if Max Crosby and Garoppolo are both playing, I will jump on the Raiders immediately. I will take it 3.5 or higher. I don't trust this Chargers defense at all. So that's where I'm at. I'm sorry for the confusing answer, but yeah, that's where I'm at in this game. If you want my top bets, parlays of the day, if you want to join our Discord, or you want to get in on the NFL Against the Spread Pick'em contest, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information's right there on the homepage. NFL Week 4, another football Sunday is upon us. Let's have ourselves a great one. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.